we have here Siddiqui Mohd Moinuddin, and his topic is documentation of crime scene, forensic photography, and latest advancements. Siddiqui Mohd is pursuing his PhD in forensic sciences, and he has 2 years of experience in the field of crime scene photography, videography, laboratory photography, and forensic photography from Forensic Science Laboratory, Delhi. And he's currently working in National Forensic Science University as a senior scientific assistant, and also he's teaching MSc Forensic Science and MA Criminology students in forensic photography and crime scene management. So I would like to welcome Siddiqui Mohd, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Anju. And I really appreciate JACS Foundation for encouraging students as well as all the delegates from India to enhance their knowledge and skills in this summit. I'm audible, Ms.
Yes,
Anju?
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now I would like to present on my topic. Anju, can you able to see the presentation?
Not yet, sir. Yes, it's updating. Yes, it's audible. It's
yes.
visible. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all participants. Welcome to the National SMIT 2020. The theme is Innovation in Forensic Era, which is organized really very good by JACS Foundation. I will discuss some most important part of forensic science or crime scene investigation, that is recording or documentation of the crime scene. Documentation of crime scene as well as forensic photography, which all those things we cannot go through much more detail about in this field. It will take much time. We have 15 minutes, so we will go a glimpse to forensic photography. Necessity of forensic photography and videography. Why it is important, and what role is of photography and videography in forensic science as well as crime scene investigation. First, it is a standard operating procedure. You must have to follow the standard operating procedure of forensic science. The SOP has been issued by NICFS as well as all other institutions like DFSS, or they all are saying that the recording of the crime scene as well as Supreme Court has directed to record video as well as for heinous crime who is the imprisonment is more than 7 years. So it is a standard operating procedure that must to be followed. Another, it is a permanent record of crime scene or evidences. Why it is necessary that to make a record of crime scene or evidences? To establish the evidence, to establish the crime scene. Nowadays, crime is becoming a huge technical. So it is very important to record a crime scene, because the cases have going longer period, which is going in the court taking 10 to 15 years as well as so it is very important to record crime scene as well as evidence. Reconstruction of crime scene, it is very useful. Photography and videography is very essential, and it will very helpful to reconstruct the crime scene for future. Maintaining chain of custody, like performer of maintaining chain of custody is also very important to maintain the chain of custody performer in forensic science. If you record the evidences or if you record the crime scene, then it is maintained by the integrity of the evidences, which also is the authenticity of evidences, as it will be very helpful to recall expert memory. It will essential. It is very helpful for recall of memory, and the presentation of photography evidence in the court of law. If you are presenting crime scene in the court of law, the judge has to understand what happened at the crime scene. So it is very best to produce photographic evidences as well as videographic evidences. Now, what documentation of crime scene? Documentation of crime scene is involved in 4 parts, that is photography, second videography, third sketching, and note making. If we discuss about photography, then photography is a recording of lights on any light sensitive material, or in the form of digital form is sensors. The two types of sensors available in digital cameras, that is CCD, that called charge coupled device, and then CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductors. This sensors plays the role of film. So you can define photography in this way. So photography, documentation of photography is also divided in another 4 parts, like close-up, mid-range, bird-eye view, and the crime scene, those who are in very complicated places, as well as videography is also the same procedure. So we will discuss about photography and videography. You can see digital photography is a form of photography that uses cameras containing arrays of electronic photodetectors to capture images focused by lens instead of photographic film. The captured images are digitized and stored as a computer file, ready for further digital processing, viewing, or digital publishing. This is a simple generic definition for digital photography. Another, that you can also say that digital photography is the process of using electronic and computing appliances to capture, create, edit, and share digital images and photographs. Digital photographs are you are using social media accounts as well as other platforms like online Google Meets. All is the presentation that you are going to be put in front of the others. So photographs is important in everyone's life. We need to understand a parts of DSLR camera. If you DSLR camera, single lens reflex camera, is also known as digital DSLR, that is digital, D for digital. So in the most important part of the camera is the body part as well as the lens from where the light is entering. So you can see this path of the light: aperture, lens element, pentaprism, viewfinder, sensor, and shutter, mirror. These are some parts of digital DSLR camera which are most important and which need to be some understand. The eye replaced by the sensors. So the film or sensor is replica of retina. Diaphragm, which is the replica of iris. Aperture, that is the replica of pupil. Lens, in our eye there is also the lens, and the black point, that also is known as choroid. Now I would like to define forensic photography, also known as forensic imaging or crime scene photography, or it may be all police photography. It is the process to make permanent record of evidence or evidences or crime scene with the help of scientific equipments, which also involves scientific techniques with the help of scientific instruments with different type of light sources, filters, lenses, etc. for the presentation of evidence in the court of law. For the purpose of justice, to form a justice. You can say that to make a permanent record of any evidence or crime scene, while you are using a scientific equipments, which with the help of some techniques, like in forensic photography, there are reprobate, there are DSLR cameras, video cameras, as well as including softwares for enhancing the images, videos. So these all techniques and instruments, software, filters, lenses will be very useful to make a permanent record on the sensor or any memory card or any media. So it will help you to present in the court for the purpose or to form a justice. Videography, you need to understand the basic information of videography refers to a process of capturing moving images or electronic media, example videotape, direct to disc, recording or solid state, and even streaming media. The term includes method of video production and post-production. This means the video production is it involves with pre-production and as well as post-production. You have to, when you are going for videography of the scene or the area, you need to do some homework, like you have to be prepare for a pre-production, that you have to arrange all those accessories, cameras, tripods, lenses, lights. So that is in pre-production. And the post-production, after coming back to your lab, after recording the video, you need to do some editing or for post-production. But in forensic photography or videography, you are not considered to do any editing in the photograph as well as videograph. It used to be considered the video equivalent of cinematography, moving images recorded on a film or stock. But advent of digital video recording in the late 20th century blurred and distinction between the two. As in both methods, the intermediate mechanism became the same. Nowadays, any video work could be called videography, whereas commercial motion pictures production will be called cinematography. That's a slight difference between videography as well as cinematography. Cinematographers are recording commercially. They are producing for motion pictures for commercial purposes. And videography could be, like, you can define as the recording of moving images, as well as containing some audio content also, as well as containing visuals. That is called or video program. News broadcasting relies heavily on live television, where videographers engage in electronic news gathering of local stories. Now let's come to forensic photography, which aspects involved in forensic photography. If we go to in depth, like ultraviolet photography, that what is ultraviolet photography and why it is used? Infrared photography, transmitted light photography, or crime scene photography, laboratory photography, examination of manipulated photos, and also videos. If we say about ultraviolet photography, that is very essential while on the crime scene where the blood cannot be seen by your naked eyes. Infrared photography is essential in the night as well as for detecting manipulation in documents. Transmitted light photography is essential for the object which can be seen through only by transmitted light, like examination of watermark in the currency or passport or non-judicial stamp paper. Crime scene photography is most important part, that is we have discussed earlier also. Laboratory photography, that is for the opening, and forensic photography also involved examination of manipulated photos with different softwares like MPEG-5 as well as Adobe Photoshop, FPC, Final Cut Pro. Ultraviolet, visible, as well as infrared photography is come in this. You can understand what is visible and infrared. Everyone has, I think so, studied like spectrum of electromagnetic spectrum. In that you can see the visible, that VIBGYOR, violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. In this is in the nanometer from to visible range can be from 400 to 700 nanometers. That is it defines in various categories. Ultraviolet from 200 to 400 nanometers, and if infrared is beyond 700 to 1200 nanometers. Application of forensic photography in forensic science. In forensic document division, you have much application of forensic photography, which involves a photography of handwriting checks, as well as ultraviolet features in currency, as well as in passport, as well as transmitted light photography for the examination of watermark, as well in examination of chemical erasers, mechanical erasers, which can help in with the help of photography. In forensic physics, the most important thing is number restoration from of vehicle. So because the number vehicle it takes very few seconds for appear and then it's appeared and disappear within a 2 to 3 seconds. That we need a very specialized technique to capture and to record that restoration of number of vehicles or engines, chassis numbers. Forensic biology and DNA, nowadays we are using photography through microscope for recording the essential things, as well as photography of blood stains, semen or body fluids, which can be done. In forensic chemistry, toxicology, and medical legal cases. In chemistry, we can find arson cases where the fire is traveling. In medical legal cases, we can do photography of dead body as well as post-mortem photo and videography. Digital and cyber forensic, that we have to capture images or the serial numbers of digital evidences. Photography of fingerprints at the scene of crime, as well as those which cannot be seen by naked eyes, which have to be developed by some technique to capture. Criminal profiling, to make criminal profiling for database. Still, India is looking for the database that is developed by an NCRB for fingerprint. Now they are looking to develop a database of criminal profiling, which already is in process and developed by CCTV examination and video enhancement. These are the both things which is really in the connection, that because in India we get the footages from the police department or any investigating agencies that we need to be enhanced the images and videos for the examination purpose. Recording latent images of fingerprint as well as for blood which cannot be seen on the naked eyes. Latest advancement in forensic photography, that is the 3D laser scanner. Really it is very useful and very helpful for recording the crime scene in 3 directions, that is length, height and width. So
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Can you please conclude your topic within 5 minutes, as there is a short of time?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
3D printing technology. 3D printing technology is very useful for facial reconstruction. Drone forensic, also known as unmanned aerial vehicle, that is UAV, that is utilized in map geographical database. Infrared images, that we can capture the infrared images. Unmanned, it is the most important, that you can visit the crime scene about 2 kilometers, more than 2 kilometers, as well as where you cannot go. Surveillance purposes and tall and huge areas which cannot be recorded by camera, that is very useful. The drone camera or drone forensic will be very useful. Recent scientific advancements have made drones, also known as UVs, unmanned air vehicles, more accessible to the public, causing an increase in their popularity. The potential application of drones range from single laser and recreational purposes to photography and transport, serving security. The list goes on. With the increased demand and subsequent availability, there has also been a rise in drone used in crime. This creates a need of forensic analysis into devices used for drones due to the use of custom electronic flight system within the different drone devices. To date, appropriate forensic tools have not been developed. This paper covers used to often tools and development of the some basic script to the forensic analysis to popular drones. Last but not least, the picture is worth of 1,000 words. Like if you go and see any of unseen crime scene, after the 1 hour, 2 hour, you cannot recall all those things, but a picture says more than 1,000 words. So it is very useful. Thank you, and please have any question as you can pin me.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really helpful information for all of us. And you taught us each and every tool and evidence has its own importance and role in a crime investigation. Also, photographers here, you just came up to know about a new opportunity. The only thing is you should be brave enough to witness a crime scene. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And the queries, we'll be updating you.
Yes.
We'll send a mail, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So, and finally, we are moving towards the end of the session. And